All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the starting soon screen, but uh, so we'll be continuing our part two um, of our many-part series of going from Plat 3 to at least Master 1. Um, Maybe we'll go for Grandmaster, depending on how much time and effort I want to put into this. But at least getting you to at least Master 1. Maybe I'll go for Grandmaster. Um, should kind of give you everything you need to at least catch up. Um, Now, some disclaimers. I've never really done this before. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so sorry if I do a lot of repeating. I have thought about how better to word some of these discussions in the video. So one thing that we'll say is, we will lose games, right? I'm not trying to do a perfect speed run. I can go from Plat 3 to Master 1 or Grandmaster mostly undefeated. As I approach Grandmaster, I don't know if I can actually get Grandmaster undefeated because my skill level usually is like low tier Grandmaster, but I can definitely get to Master 1 undefeated pretty easily. The point of these videos is not to like sandbag and dunk on everybody. It's kind of try and show you guys what the minimum kind of level of skill or to approach these levels at, what you should be focusing in on these levels, what it looks like, and then like the real-time decision making. So what you're not going to see is a lot of different builds. I'm only going to be doing the same build in each matchup. All right. As we progress, the build will evolve a little bit. And what I mean by evolve a little bit is like I might initially be opening like 2 gateways against Terran, and eventually it's going to turn into like a 1 gateway expand. I might open like a really slow Nexus expansion. Eventually, as we move up the ladder, and my expansions might be faster, right? The build orders might start shifting a little bit to be a little bit more tailored, but it's going to be basically the same thing. Like the general theme in all these builds is going to be some sort of 2 base robotics timing attack, potentially with or without Twilight upgrades. Eventually, I might upgrade it from an Immortal timing attack to like a Colossus time attack, but the build order is going to pretty much be the same 99% of the time. There might be some, as we move up, there might be some refinements, right? Like right now, my build order is not very polished. I'm kind of intentionally not letting it be polished. I will get supply blocked, and as we move up the ranks, I'll make sure I get supply blocked less. Right now, I'm just trying to like do like the minimum amount of micro. Like so far, I think in the last video, the only real micro I kind of did besides aim moving was occasionally on some games I selected my stalkers and I clicked on a unit, right? I'm trying to keep the skill level, the APM and everything at as much of a minimum. Now, I do not know what skill level, or I do not know how much I have to hold back to kind of replicate the skill level of the leagues that I'm at, because obviously I want to be a little bit above that skill level, but only a tiny bit. So that way, obviously I'm not showing you like a 50% win rate. But I'm gonna try to like maintain the current level of play until I hit a wall. So maybe I start losing a bunch of games, or I hit a 50% win rate, and then we'll try to evolve the skill. It could be that maybe as I'm playing, I might be able to instinctually feel it, like what I should do, or might be able to instinctually feel like I should increase the skill level of my gameplay. We'll see how that goes. I've never done this before, so we'll see how it plays out. So either I'll increase the skill level after I start losing a lot, or if I feel like the opponent is displaying a level of skill that I feel comfortable matching. Because like I said, I think what's least helpful in a lot of these Bronze to Grandmaster series and stuff for a lot of you guys is if you see like somebody playing at a Grandmaster or Master 1 level in the Bronze League and you're a Bronze League player or a Platinum League player, and you see that, you're like, he makes it look so easy. Um, like, and then you try to do it, you're like, oh man, I have no mini map awareness, and like I keep tunnel visioning and all this stuff. Like, oh, I just keep supply blocking, right? And it's like, well, okay, like sure, the builds, like he's doing builds perfectly, no mistakes, hitting perfect timings, perfect mini map awareness, and even though the builds look simple, and he's demonstrating the power of the builds, there's not really a lot of information I think you can gain from that because it's hard to put yourself in those shoes, right? So what I'm trying to do in this series is play in a way that you can relate to, that I think that you should be able to replicate at your current skill level. And if your skill level is not at what I'm displaying, then it should be close enough to you that you can look at it and say, like, I think that's achievable, right? I think I can get there, because the delta of what I am showing you hopefully is very small, And in terms of numbers, I'd say hopefully I'm not showing you a skill level that's like 100, more than 100 MMR above what you're currently at. And if that is true, then I think, I'd be pretty happy, right? Because I think that's my goal. My goal is to try and show you a skill level less than 100 MMR above you in mechanics, right? In basic mechanics. So oh yeah, so last time my internet cut out for a brief period. It happens at nighttime where I live in Tucson. So it happened in a Zero game. So we'll just go through the replay real quick and just gonna show you the end of that last game, then we'll continue on the ladder journey. One thing you can see here, I'll kind of reiterate, I'll probably cover this all the time, is that if you're serious about improving, what you should do is have a system kind of like I have here, where like every game you play, you want to like label, right? So I labeled this as a PVZ. I said I won it, and I gave basically a short description of what the opponent was doing. And originally I was putting what I was doing, but I'm changing that to what the opponent's doing because I'm doing the same thing all the time. I'm doing Robo 2 base. So as I'm kind of developing these strategies to help you in real time. This is stuff that I didn't do, but I would do in a new MMORPG, or not MMORPG, but a new RTS game. Oh my god, where is my mind? So, and keep it consistent, right? Because what we're gonna do here, so what's the value of this is going, matchup win, and what the opponent does is you should only be practicing one strategy per matchup until you can get no more mileage on that strategy, or until you've gotten to like Masters 1 and you want to mix things up. Now, I will say, because this is a game meant to have fun, you can mix in some fun strategies here and there, but those, whatever strategies that's not your main strategy that you ought to be practicing, you should know you're doing for fun. You're not doing it to improve, okay? So the strategies we care about improving with, we're going to label those replays. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look. Like, we've already lost twice, but we've won a lot, right? And I've lost 100% of my games against PvP Void Race, right? So, and what I look at here, and doing this helps you accept your losses without getting like too upset about it. And what I'm doing here is seeing like, well, the only time I lose in PvP so far with this build is against Void Rays. And if I lose enough games against Void Rays, right, then I'll be able to take these replays, watch them back to back, and say like, okay, what happened here? And then maybe I'll hypothesize what I could have done better or not. Maybe I just don't think about anything. I watch the next replay, and I say, okay, what was similar between these two builds, right? I'll put these in like a separate folder maybe, right? And maybe I'll have like a notebook with me. And I'll try to write down like key things that are similar between all of the Void Ray builds I lost against, right? Are all of them proxy Void Rays? Are some of them proxy Void Rays? I'll group the proxy Void Rays into like one category. Say, what can I scout that's similar? Like, do they all attack at the same time? Do they all proxy in the same location? Like, what does... Like, are they all double gas openers, single gas openers? Like, are they fast expands? Like, by figuring out like things that are common that are different from the norm, right? Like if every PvP, no matter what the strategy is, like the Nexus goes down at 4 minutes, that's not a fact I care about. But if only in the Void Ray matchup the Nexus goes down at like 5 minutes, then when I scout them, I'll make sure like, okay, all I need to know is at 4 minutes, do they have an expansion? If the answer is no, I prepare for Void Race. Okay, I just metagame Void Race. I don't even have to scout their base. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna assume Void Race, and then um, I'll have a bunch more replays. I'll have replays where I assumed Void Rays, I was correct, and I won. And then I'm going to have replays where I assumed Void Rays, I was incorrect, and I lost. Well, now I'm going to watch all the replays where I lost again and see what is the difference between the late expansion and going Void Rays and the late expansion and not going Void Rays, right? And can I think of, is there a response to Void Rays that also works in this matchup? So let's say my response to Void Rays is Mass Phoenix. And I lose to like an Immortal Rush. And I'm like, okay, well, the Immortal Rush, the Proxy Immortal Rush and the Proxy Void Ray are virtually identical except for what's being proxied. So the Mass Void Rays didn't protect, or Mass Phoenixes didn't protect me against Immortals, but they protect me against Phoenixes. Well, what is something else that can protect me against the Void Rays that can also protect me against Immortals, right? And then these are like more tailored questions. You can ask someone for help. You can start like, maybe you can't figure it out, so you try different things. Like maybe I'll try Mass Stalker, try Blink, or we'll try me going Void Rays myself. Maybe I make a ton of cannons, who knows, right? But being able to because to figure out how to overcome something, you want more than just like a single data point, and you want to draw commonality, like patterns and trends. Because when you find things that are different and you find things that are the same, that's how high level players like myself, Masters 1, Grandmasters, can look at a situation and say, oh, I know exactly what's happening, right? You can say like Showtime, all Showtime did was like his probe went up the map, all he saw was a supply depot, a barracks, and another supply depot, and he automatically knows that it's like Battlecruiser Rush. I go up that ramp and it could be anything. It could be 3 racks, it could be factory, it can be Battlecruiser Rush, it could be Banshee. Like, how does Showtime know that in this situation where I think it could be one of 4 things, Showtime 100% knows it's Battlecruiser, and he's right every single time, right? And it can be things like he goes up the ramp at a certain time and our Reaper doesn't show up. And he knows that in every one of those builds, except for Battlecruiser, a Reaper is made at his level. And the only time a Marine is ever made is with Battlecruisers. So he goes up the ramp, out pops a Marine, 9 out of 10 times is a Battlecruiser, right? So, stuff like that. I'm not saying that these are the scouting patterns. I'm just giving examples that I've made up, right? So like I have been accused, I have a Discord where I've been accused of map hacking a lot. And it's because without even scouting, I know based on not scouting and what I know of the player, I know exactly what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, and I'm ready for it. Like when I played against Barry Crunch and he accused me of map hacking against him, it's because I know that Barry Crunch is always going to do a somewhat 2-base all-in timing. At least when I was playing against him, he does always like a 2-base all-in timing and expands behind it. He's very bad at making SCVs, and if at any point in time, typically when he fails the 2-base attack, he's going to put about 2 medevacs worth of units into medevacs and try and do a drop. So what I did is I metagamed his 2-base all in. I just overproduced units, took a little bit later of expansion, whatever, went up to 8 gateways really fast. I crushed his 2-base attack. I warped in stalkers and I put it in my base, just ready for in a pretty decent spot to intercept it. And I just waited my units there. I did other stuff. His 2 medevacs flew into my stalkers. My stalkers killed them. I didn't even see them die, okay? My stalkers killed them. And then while watching the replay, he accused me of map hacking, even though I made the stalkers place them in the in my cliff area, my main base. before he lifted his units into the medevacs. I was prepared for the drop. I knew it was coming before he even thought about dropping me, right? I was looking into the future, right? And this is because of what I know about the player, and I know about the way the matchup works, right? So when you look for these commonalities, and as you move up against the ladder, you play against the same players over and over again, you can tailor your play style to the opponent, not just to the race. But we won't worry about that for a while, okay? That's a little bit high level. For now, you should just tailor your play style to the matchup. So let's kind of go through that. So hopefully this kind of introduction kind of helps. Now, since I'm only going to be doing the same build orders, I'm also going to try and help you guys think of mnemonics and things that you should be saying in your head or out loud, preferably out loud, to kind of remind yourself how to build probes and stuff like that. And you'll see that in the last game where I'll say I build a pylon, I build a probe, I build a gateway, I build a probe. I'm going to repeat this a lot. You should repeat this a lot. I'm going to try and like burn it into your mind as I, keep saying it. So for some people, this series will be very boring for you because there's not going to be a lot of difference in my build order. It's going to be mostly the same. As we progress, a little bit different. It's going to be me saying the same stuff over and over again, and me talking about the same things over and over again as we move up the ladder, and it's all for your benefit, because what we're trying to build here is muscle memory. We're trying to build habits, and the way the human mind works to build muscle memory habits is through repetition. And the more you repeat things, the more you say things, the more you think things, the more you do things that are the same, your body will write that into long-term memory. Your body will write that into your muscle memory. Like for a lot of people, injecting, believe it or not, for a lot of pros and grandmasters, injecting is not something they think about. Cero isn't like thinking about injecting. He feels injecting. He has a biological, like Rainer, Cero, Dark, fucking some random Masters ones are. A lot of these people have it like internal biological clock, where it's like, I feel like I should inject right now, so I'm gonna inject right now, right? After it's kind of like how if you wake up at 7 o'clock every day, when you go to bed, even if you go to bed at, let's say you go to bed at 10 and you wake up at 7 every day, if you're consistent, you can go to bed at 12, you'll still wake up at 7 without an alarm clock, right? Because your body will feel that it is the time to wake up, right? Because your body has that internal clock. So that's kind of what we're training here. You'll build up that for pylons, supply depots, mules, injects, spreading creep. Like, you will feel the time. And when things change, like creep tumors or whatever, like it'll take some time to adjust that clock, repetitions, but so in this game, like I'm not optimizing a whole lot. I think this is about where the replay or the stream died. So, I'm just kind of building some probes, building this stuff. What the opponent is doing is just going for what looks like a kind of a standard build. He's going for the speed. I'm not a professional caster. Apologize. Everything looks pretty good from his part, right? Besides the supply block. Maybe it's intentional. I don't play Zerg, so maybe this is an intentional supply block that all Zergs do. Who knows? Maybe it's a late overlord. But we're essentially trying to get up our gateways. We get up the adept, we chrono boost it. You want to immediately go for the stalker. So we're always going to do one adept, one stalker. We're not going to do any two adept things. We're not going to do any high micro things. We're not going to try to harass. We're gonna keep this. You don't need to be worrying about trying to kill some drones over here, even though you may at Plat 3 get some free wins because 2 adepts somehow kill every drone he has. That's not the skill you ought to be developing in the Platinum League, right? You shouldn't be getting wins. Like, you're not going to improve by getting wins by abusing the weakness in the opponent's mechanics, right? You get better by strengthening your mechanics, right? So that's what we're doing here. And the mechanic that we're training at Plat 3 and lower is having a somewhat solid build order plan. right? Our plan is to two base all in with our robo facility. You know, we want to maybe get charge with our charge lots, and we kind of want to do a timing where we have an observer just in case they rush out lurkers or well, maybe want to kill some creep. Maybe they have burrowed roaches, right? We want to get us immortals because immortals are a pretty strong backbone, right? Pretty solid unit. They do high DPS to roaches. They do high DPS to stalkers. You know, they kill marauders pretty well, right? We want to get a handful of stalkers, right? We want to make sure we go up to 8 gateways. 8 gateways is the magic number for about 2 bases when doing a 2 base all in. So it's a fully support our economy. We want to make sure we warp in 3 pylons whenever we are either severely supply blocked or when we're about to attack, right? Make sure we get our research going, you know, check all of our bells and whistles, you know, hit the chrono boost whenever we can. And then we're constantly like looking at our base, you know, like, okay, I got this chrono boosted, we got some probe here, how's this guy looking? Oh, these are finishing. This, maybe I can afford a chrono boost here if I want to. You know, make sure these probes, am I fully saturated? I don't need any more probes. We're 16, 16, 33. We got our 8 gateways. I'll just warp in some stuff. I want to go on attack, you know, since I'll be warping in zealots, you know, maybe I'll make a Templar archive, you know, now that we're ready to attack. We're not ready to attack yet. We want to make sure we get a warp prism, right? Like, I'm not building this right away. I'm trying to replicate that platinum experience, right? Nothing, you know, we're not having some high APMs. Like, if you look at my APM right now, I'm at a solid, I don't know, 400. we're averaging 64, okay? The opponent's like 200, so we're averaging 64, right? We'll just ignore that 400 blip. Sometimes I spaz. We put 3 pylons when we want to go to attack, right? And we just kind of walk across the map. We look at what the opponent, we find a good spot that we want to stage our attack from. We place the warp prism in this spot and we warp in. Then we go and attack. We attack only after our first warp in. And we want to make sure that we place the warp prism in an area where they don't know, right? He doesn't currently know. The warp prism could be anywhere. So this sets a little bit of protection. You know, we warp in a couple High Templar, we warp in some of these guys. And then we take this, we box it, and we go A move, right? He is trying to go for really fast lurkers, right? So this is one of the reasons why we go for a 2 base timing attack, is because 2 base timing attacks absolutely punish anyone who's teching too hard. I A move, so I didn't even try to micro. These units are just automatically chasing, right? You can box these and A move them some more. These guys are just randomly doing work over here. Absolutely no micros happening. These are just, like, if we look at where like, I'm over here warping in units, like, not even watching this, and you'll see this in future games. I don't even look at my army. I am just over here trying to warp in units, right? And we A moving them. Might take a look, make sure that everybody's participating in some fights. Then we warp in more units, right? I grab this guy, say, hey, you know, you're not on vacation. I A move him, and he just goes and fights a larva. Okay, whatever, right? I'm not even micro, not even trying to. And we pretty much won this game and pretty much every game yesterday, except for maybe 2, with just an A move. And the 2 games we won without an A move. I think I clicked on a medevac with some stalkers, and I clicked on a battle cruiser with some stalkers, right? So for sure, we have demonstrated less skill than the opponent. Like, this guy has twice the APM of me that I demonstrated this game, right? Now, the reason timing attacks are really important, 2 base ones especially, because you can't do one of these ones with Broadhouse. It doesn't exist really. Like, you have to have a lot of skill and stuff to do a 1 base, but maybe at the bronze level. But, you know, is that like, what did I find out right here? Well, I found out that if he rushes lurkers, I can kill him. All right, if I was like some non-2 base all-inning, you know, macro guy sniffing my own farts in my Prius or whatever. I actually do own a Prius, but you know, I would never know that the fast lurker actually has a weakness to a 2 base all in, right? I would be over here macroing, some lurkers would probably show up outside my base, and I'd be like fucking Zerg OP, okay? Like, he's got 2 lurkers, you know, like, he killed my observer, he's got like 4 lurkers now, I can't push out, I'm trapped in my bases, he's got everything, and you know, I would lose this 100% of the time. I would never know. So the one of the valuable informations you get from two base all-ins is you know what you can kill and what you cannot, right? So now, with this information, when I transition from two base all-inning, which you will see in the series, to three base all-inning or four base all-inning, five base, so on and so forth, right? Is I will know like, okay, well, I can kill fast lurkers. So the only question I ever need as I progress out of two base all-inning is, well, how can I scout fast lurkers? I can say the lurker den finishes or begins. The lurker den begins at this time, right? At least in this guy, his lurker den kind of begins around 5:30 or 5 o'clock, 5 minutes rather, right? What we got here? Maybe 5:20. Who cares? It starts around 5:20. We'll get there. Ba-da-ba-da. Right there it is. It starts around 5:20. So if I scout by 5:20, so maybe at 5 minutes, I might want to send a hallucination in there. And if I see this, well, where am I at, right? I'm already basically ready for the attack. But I might be able to just, let's say I didn't have these gateways, these three gateways. I can still have this build and go for the Nexus. But if I see this, I'm dropping 3 more gateways, 3 more pylons, and I run across the map right now, right? So we can try to transition into it, right? And we say, and maybe like this is too far progressed, right? Maybe I'm more interested in like a 2-gate expansion. So we can say like, okay, well, this replay or this person went lurkers, right? So let's see. Maybe I drop my gateways around 4 minutes. Let's take a look here. I can say, okay, right, this is around the time I want to drop my gateways, right? So, but I don't drop all of them. So maybe I can delay these a tiny bit, right? Because I still want to go for this Nexus. Maybe I can delay these a tiny bit. So let's say I delay them until like 4:20. What can I scout to give me, the idea that we're possibly going in lurkers? And what we see is, well, technically, to the untrained eye, what we see is brooches, double evolution chamber, like nothing here to me looks like lurkers except for one tiny detail, right? These gases look a lot like lurkers to me. They also look like mutas, okay? So if I see this, I'm actually thinking, usually at the higher levels, I'm thinking mutas, but, I'm thinking lurkers and mutas, okay? So what I can do is say like, well, typically both lurkers and mutas die to a 2-base timing. So I'm going to go for the 2-base timing, right? And since I'm not entirely sure, because let's say it could be some weird like gas play, because he has a layer right now, right? And he's going for double gas, right? So this is another key indicator. He's not on hatchery tech, he's on layer tech, right? Going for double gas. Perhaps I'll send another scout in at 5 minutes, right? So at 5 minutes I go in, I confirm the lurker tech, and then I march across the map. But maybe at 5 minutes, I could have all of my tech down, right? So let's say we're about here, and I go in, and I see Hydras, right? And I don't see this, right? Even though he goes for this, I don't see it. I can, the only difference between this and a macro build is my expansion is just a little bit late. So I can still choose to drop the Nexus and abort the 2-base all-in, or I can warp in and continue the 2-base all-in. At any point in time, I can go for the 2-base all-in, right? Because I know the opponent or I can abort the 2-base all-in because I know the opponent is not the most, macro efficient, right? He's going for these gases. That means mineral income has been suffered, which means he's gonna be having less mineral income because he's exchanging minerals for gas, right? Like these 6 drones could be over here making minerals. Those 6 drones could be funding a 4th base, right? So because he's on three bases, 4 gases, his macro is delayed either by a bad build order or tech. So that means my 3rd base can be late. And if he is not like saturated over here, like he's only got 3 drones. Like this economy is technically a 2-base economy, right? So even though he has the 3rd hatchery, we have basically the same income. So if you go look at income, like look at this, right? We have basically the same income. And if we watch it go over time, you know, I'm always within like 100 of him, right? Maybe a spike's like a 200 difference. That is very small. That's not a whole base more, right? Income. So I can afford, and especially since Zerg technically need to have a higher income, 200 gap is not enough of a discrepancy for me to actually be scared or to care, right? As a Protoss player or even as a Terran player, right? Like for Terran to feel, or for Zerg to feel comfortable, and for Terran and Protoss to feel scared of just losing to a straight up macro, the delta needs to be a little bit higher, right? So you can consider these as either a 2-base all in or safety gateways, right? They're safety gateways. And then once I have a clear understanding of what he is doing, or she or they are doing, then I can you know, respond appropriately. I can make the all in to go attack them, I can make a bunch of units to defend them, or I can choose to expand, right? So you don't have to be necessarily committed to this idea, but this is an example of how, you know, we could analyze a replay for some benefit, and why 2-base all in is pretty important. So what happened? Did we get a follower? Oh, we got a subscriber. All right, yeah, cool. Thanks for the YouTube subscribe. All right. So that was the game we lost yesterday. Not lost, but we cut out. Oh. Yeah, get a drink of water. Is the background music, everything sound all right? Excuse me. We're definitely gonna get promoted to Platinum 2. We're very close. We started down here. All right. Maybe like 2 or 3 more wins should definitely give us that promo. I probably only have 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half of games to do, so. Hey, we got more Zergs than yesterday. It's a Diamond 3 Zerg, you know, so maybe turn up the mic a bit. I have YouTube Max, but it feels quiet. Alright, let's take a look here. I forget what the volume is. Alright, well, unfortunately, we got a free win. Is this the volume? Testing. Testing, testing. No, this is the volume, so this is probably the best I can do. But what? Are we in a game? Oh, square screen, okay. Alright, that sounds good. Alright, cool. Okay, unfortunate. I guess we were 1 win away from Platinum 2. Cristiano. I was hoping for a Zerg game because we haven't really. This guy also kind of mass losing. We'll wait for him to find a game. So I kind of want to show you guys more games against Zerg, because definitely this series is not helping your PvZ. Maybe we can sneak in there. Is he searching? Be unfortunate if we're being sniped and get a bunch of free MMR. Oh no, we got him again. Or probably got him again. Alright, cool. Like, if we get him more than once, I might have to feed a couple wins just to take us down a notch. So we got a Terran. Not going to worry about any kind of probe stuff. We're just going to make a probe. The first probe that comes out, rally to the ramp. make a second probe. It's okay to double queue sometimes, depending on what's going on. We make this, and we'll send him to scout. We'll reset our rally, make another probe. This guy will control one, send him around, and send him back home. It's all the scouting we need. The next guy that comes out is going to make our gateway. We'll make the gateway. We'll send him home. We'll make a probe. We'll chrono boost. We'll click on the mineral patch. The one-time MMR didn't get MMR, it's a bad thing. Alright, so we'll click on gas, make a gas, send it to minerals, make a probe. So early on, it's kind of pretty much one thing for one thing, like one gas, one probe. We'll chrono boost only twice, and if you chrono boost pretty quickly like this, then the probes should line out in time for you to make the cybernetic core. Alright, we'll fill up this guy in the gas. We'll put some other random guy in the gas. This probe will come out in time to make the cybernetics core. Him in the gas, right? Our dude is coming home. Right, that's good. Alright, we have 3, 3, 16. Make a probe. Put a guy down here. We want to make a pylon. We make a pylon here to cover for shield batteries to protect our line. A little bit supply block. At this level, you know, it's not too bad. What's important is making sure our buildings are in good positions. They're relatively the correct speed. You know, we'll make a staging pylon out here. We want to make our 2 stalkers. We're going to be consistent for now. Eventually, we'll tailor these towards the matchup. Make some probes, put them on minerals, right? Then we're just playing safe, right? We'll make a shield battery here, make a probe, make another shield battery, you know, just kill the probe. We'll make 2 sentries. So before I've been making like 2 stalkers and 2 stalkers, but you know, we'll just start, because we're making the shield battery, we can't really afford it, so I don't think we can afford a 2 sentries, so we'll just make 2 sentries. Keep making probes the whole time. Eventually we'll cut at 20, but for now we'll just keep making probes, and whenever we get 400 minerals, we'll make that expansion. Right? We'll have him set to long distance mine. We'll take this opportunity to make another probe because we make a nexus. We'll click both nexus, put this on, we'll say 5. I like 5. And we'll click both nexuses onto a mineral patch here. Then we can we'll make 2 more stalkers. Oh, we're supply blocked, so we'll cancel the stalkers. And we'll go ahead and make a pylon. Oh yeah, I want to make a robo facility. Right, we want to make the second pylon down here. You know, so I kind of forgot our build order. So yeah, and then after that, we wanted to make our. So whenever we make the robo bay, we also want to make the Twilight Council. That's right, you know. Now, when this pylon warps in, we can make our 2 dudes. We notice we have slow warp ins here, so we'll want to make some gateways here eventually. You can start maybe transferring some of these guys. I'd rather long distance mine and not have to worry about it. I mean, everything's looking pretty good. When this finishes, we'll do 1 chrono boost on each. And that's all the chrono boost on probes we can do without dying. We'll make the observer. Definitely practice your hotkeys if you haven't got them, right? Make a couple more probes. We'll queue up the immortal. We see that we're close to max probes here, so we're not going to make any more probes. Make the charge. We'll chrono boost the charge. We'll start building our gateways. So we go 1 gateway, 2 gateways, 3 gateways, 4. This puts us at 6 gateways, and we'll build 2 down here. 1, 2. Right. And then we'll build our Twilight archives, right? So we have all the tech that we want. We got all the tech that we need. We'll make our immortal. Right, so we're not following a perfect crisp build order. We're just kind of like, right now, our build order that we're trying to get you to focus on is our goal is to have Twilight Council Robo relatively early. We want to go up to 8 gateways after we get all our tech done. We want to like start warping in units and stuff. Eventually, we're going to worry more about getting this robo down as fast as possible, making sure we're not supply blocked, making sure we get all of this stuff when we can, right? But right now, we're just trying to get like the feel of the build order, right? The general theme of it, what it looks like, the pattern. I want to attack, so I place 3 pylons before leaving to attack. This will click onto the observer so I don't automatically pick up stuff. We'll do 1 round of warp in, so we can only afford 4. And we'll just move to an attack location, right? I don't want to move up this ramp because it's very narrow, so we'll move our units over here. We'll come up the ramp from this direction. When this guy comes out, we'll put him on hotkey 2, put this on hotkey 3. Even though we're not building stuff out of it, it's just a good habit to build early, right? You'll get used to it. This, you know, we're floating a bunch of money, that's fine. We'll just warp in. A good warp in. We warped in a bunch. This is something new that we're adding. We'll build 3 more pylons. Right? And then we'll come and attack. We'll make a little bit closer of a staging area. There's a couple guys here. We don't want him to just AFK kill my warp prism. And you know, just attacking. Right? We're not microing, not touching anything. Just coming over here, A move on the mini map or whatever, warping some units. I'm not even trying to chrono boost these guys, right? We'll see how the fight's doing. You guys still alive here? You know? Maybe we'll send some zealots up the ramp. Oh no, he's attacking this. Kill these guys, send them over here. You know, are we winning the fight? Are we winning the fight, Dad? Yeah. Alright, it looks like they're winning the fight by themselves, right? Maybe I can warp in a couple extra stalkers, right? I'm not even using this tech yet, because what's important is just making sure we have like the theme of the build done, right? We're not utilizing or maximizing everything we're doing. We're just making sure we have the options available, because eventually we will gain the skill to be able to utilize those options. So just because you don't have the skill to, like, you know, warp in perfectly in time, spend all your money, utilize all of your tech, you still want to do the build order as perfectly as possible. You want to have that muscle memory, and then you want to grow into the skill required to execute that build better. And as we move up the ladder, you'll see that, you know, the build order will basically be the same. The timings will be different. The warp-ins will be different. They'll be more concise, more crisp, right? And the build will be utilized more, right? So it's kind of like when you buy a tool set or workout equipment, you may not use the entire tool set right away. You might not use all the workout options available for your bow flex or whatever, but eventually you'll gain the strength, or you'll gain the need to use your variety of tools. You'll be able to start doing pull-ups because your upper body strength has gotten stronger, right? You'll be able to utilize more effectively and more often. But you can't use a hammer if you don't own a hammer, right? You can't use a bow flex if you don't own the bow flex. You can't do pull-ups if you don't train your arms and back and stuff, right? So with a build order, what a build order provides you is the means to be successful, and then it's up to you to be able to utilize what that build is giving you. so that's what we're doing right now. We're using the build. The build is giving us the means to win, and then we're just trying to get better at using it, right? We're trying to hammer our nails in straighter, and We're trying to like not over torque our screws, or whatever the analogy that you want to use is. Okay. As we get better, we become more proficient. And we're not going to become more proficient if we keep trying to use too many different things. Hey, the Rebellion. Finally, some Zergs. And still, we've never learned how to beat the Void Race, right? But it's also turning out that we don't have to learn how to beat the Void Race, because the amount of people who Void Ray us compared to the amount of people who don't Void Ray us, the Void Ray players were not abundant enough to stop me from getting Plat 2. So maybe we'll never learn how to beat the Void Rays, right? So the first guy comes out, and we make a pylon. And then we made a pylon, we'll make a probe, right? Maybe looks like this probe will be finished pretty soon. I'm looking back here, we'll make a probe. All right, and we'll come back over here, I'll make a gateway. And then we just want to see, like, are we being 12 pooled? Let's go around and come back home. All right, we can make a probe. Well, and then usually when we go gateway, we try to chrono boost, and then we'll make a gas. And so the one difference in PvZ than PvP and PvT is we're not going to make a second gas right away, but we'll just keep making probes. There's not a whole lot going on, so maybe I'll queue up one more probe, so I have double probe going. This will buy me at least one probe of time to take a look over here. I see on the mini map we finished this spawning pool. When you scout a spawning pool after gateway or pylon, if it's more than halfway finished, then you're going to want to build a zealot. So we're just going to build that zealot right away. We'll bring a probe down. We're intentionally not building the cybernetic score on time. So we'll just keep making probes. And then because we saw an early pool before the hatchery, we'll just make a second gateway, right? And then we'll make a second pylon. Yep. So this is done. And we're not going to queue up a zealot right away. Instead, we're going to want to make our nexus. Right, everything's good. And we'll keep this guy here, because if he does send Zerglings, we'll block. So what we're wanting to make, we'll rally behind. We actually just want to make this adept and give her a chrono boost and make this warp tech, right? Then we make sure we make some probes. We'll hotkey both of these guys, right? We can take our second gas. We'll use this guy to make our stalker, and then we're done, right? Everything's looking good. Send him to gas. Rally these guys. Send one. We have too many in gas, so we'll send one. So our build order usually calls for us to put a pylon back here so we can make a shield battery. So we'll make sure this is one of our key pylon locations. We want to make a shield battery in front, so we always make a shield battery in front and a shield battery back here. That's common amongst all matchups. In PvZ, we like to put our stalker in the front of the wall to absorb baneling hits. Keep these guys near the front, right? We can make the shield battery back here just for safety. Why not? Just to be similar. We don't need to optimize. We want to make our robo facility. Make sure we'll queue in a couple extra of these guys. Why not? Make the robo. That means we want to make Twilight next. So these guys pair together, We see some stuff going on over here, but we're held position. We got a shield battery. He ain't doing much, right? So make a couple of these guys. And then, we got, like, what else do we make? Well, we got all of this. So usually the next thing we make is just, a bunch of gateways, right? So we're going to go up to 8 gateways. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this finishing? I was able to make more, so we'll hold it. Okay, I'll make this observer. We got some stuff in here. We'll send back. We'll double click these guys, send them here. So this looks like it was a Zergling drop. We'll run these guys back here. It's fine. We'll send these back here. Send them back, you know, we'll make a couple zealots. You know, let's keep making some preps, right? So we've survived. Hopefully it wasn't too much micro. So we've taken a lot of damage to our economy. We have a lot of gas. So whenever we take an economic damage, we'll just take guys out of gas and go straight into minerals. Especially since we're more of a charge lot based all-in timing, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll just go back to our build order. Okay, where was I? We'll say I was at the point where I wanted to make more immortals, right? We'll replug the wall with an adept. Maybe keep these guys in the main, and we'll just pull up some immortals. And we'll go ahead and just keep making probes. We'll make the second immortal, right? Keep making probes, and I still want to go up to 8 gateways. I only got 6 out, so we'll pull up some money for that. We'll make a pylon because I know some 49 of the 54. So what I'm looking at a lot of times, I'm making sure that I got probes being built. I'm looking at this guy, you know, I'm looking up here periodically. Everything's looking good. I make the warp prism. And now I have 300 minerals that I can make 3 gateways. I'm at 16. Maybe we put 1 on each of these guys, right? And we'll fill up our gas again, right? Warp in some zealots, and then I want to attack, remember? So what do we do when we attack? We make 3 pylons, right? And then we'll move the little guy out of here. We select this guy, and we go to like an attack location, like probably here against Zerg. I'm choosing this one because he probably expanded here, so we want to like warp in on his expansion. We want to warp in off the ramp. Okay. We weren't able, because we had to abandon gas, we weren't able to afford the Archons, but maybe we can afford them later. We have 1 good warp in here, and we'll just move this base. Bam. And we'll just keep sending these guys here. You know, when they're done, maybe we'll send them here. He's got some Banelings, that's cool. Just keep making more zealots. We'll send them over here. Oh, but our observer died. Maybe I'll make another one. Just put it down here for now. Make some zealots. Just, you know, just send them over here. Yeah, got some more zealots to make. You know, he's not really killing units too slowly, but not too quickly. You know? I can't warp in anymore. Really, he's not killing stuff anymore, so we'll just go and make 3 more pylons. Then we'll go warp in whatever amount of stuff he's killed. Oh, there's some guys up here not doing anything. We'll send them over here. Oh, okay, never mind. These guys are not my dudes. They're his changelings. Okay, that's fine. Now we got Observer. Observer can join the fun. These immortals are not changelings. They can move into the main base. You know, we got our supply from the dudes. You know, just move them over here like that. Yeah, just. So this was a pretty good game. I really appreciated him doing this. He wrecked our economy pretty hard, but you know, we defended, we stabilized, and then we continued our build order. That's the most important thing. Is we continued our build order. We didn't like panic, we didn't drop void rays, we didn't like whatever, we just say, what is my build order? My build order is we go up to 8 gateways, I get 2 immortals, a war prism, some amount of gateway units in the early game, observer, we drop 3 pylons, we go and attack, and that's what we did. You know, we got, you know, it's like the only new thing we did here is like, well, okay, like maybe I can make some guys, put them back into gas, but we took all of our guys out of gas and put them in minerals because our core army is zealots. Zealots cost minerals. We only need 200 gas for this guy, 75 gas for that. We don't need a ton of gas, so, you know. So pulling these guys out of gas gave us a lot more income, and then we literally moved him. You know, he had banelings, he had I think a Hydra or two in that army. He died. You know, we didn't micro. You know, like if we take a look here, my APM was half of his. Right, this guy's probably writing a Reddit post. You know? And technically, you know, he's not wrong. Right, Gordas is so easy. Gordas is only like every race is easy, but a race is only so easy, quote unquote, if you have a build order. All of my games, all of my wins so far have technically been build order wins, not because they're not build order counters, they're build order wins. Because I had a build order, I followed it, and I won. Okay? This person doesn't have, well, he has a build order in the technical sense, in that he built things in an order, but it's not a build order in the sense that I'm using the word. When I say build order, I mean that there's a build that is designed for a very specific purpose that is optimized, okay? Even though I'm not playing the build order in an optimized manner, this is a build order that is optimized and is guaranteed to have some level of success at any level. Like, Parting can win with this build order at his level, right? Like this build order attempts to do everything that it wants to do as fast and as powerful as it can. Right? That's what a build order is, you know. Like if your build order is make 4 nexuses, make a bunch of probes and attack, technically that's a build order, but that's not like what I mean by build order. It's kind of hard to describe. I guess a build order is like a well thought out plan that is optimized to a specific goal, right? So my well thought out plan is to have a army capable of winning the game at a specific time, right? That utilize all the available resources that I have, right? So having the 8 gateways, utilize all of my economy, having the robo facility gives me a backbone that prevents my zealots from being kited to death, because at the higher levels my zealots can buffer for the immortals, where the immortals will do most of the damage, right? I optimize my zealots offensive capabilities by making sure I have charge, right? The reason I can get charge is because now, why do I have charge versus no charge? Like the old Heart of the Swarm builds didn't have charge. It's because when I'm with this economy and Legacy of the Void, if I look at the 2 build orders, my attack timing with charge versus my attack timing without charge, what will we see? We see that I can do a slightly faster attack timing without charge, but only slightly. And the time difference is like maybe 10 or 20 seconds, right? And if I look at what is the opponent's probability of success for holding my attack at time A and 10-20 seconds later time B, if the probability of holding the attack at time A, even though it hits faster, is higher because my charge lots or my zealots are so slow that it's easy to kite them, body block them, and so on, then it's actually better for me to wait 10 or 20 seconds to make sure they have charge, because the power spike from charge is more significant than the early attack that I did, right? So we're playing against Zerg again. We'll rally this guy down here. We'll control Alt F. So Western United States server. So when you're making decisions, like obviously more tech is going to delay you, but does the power spike from the tech give you a higher win percentage than without it, right? In some situations, I may want to In some situations, I may want to actually hit faster against certain builds without charge, right? I may want to hit slower with charge against other builds, right? So we'll rally a guy down here. We'll hit Chrono Boost. Right. So right now I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not trying to do a perfect build order. We're just doing a general pattern or theme of the build order, right? We'll leave him down here. So we made a gateway, we make a probe, we make a gas, we make a probe without the Chrono Boost. Make another gas, we'll make a probe. Even though we tripled up, you know, it's our pattern. We mess up our build order, but we're gonna keep the pattern. We want the muscle memory. So even though I overstacked, it's because, you know, we're doing X, Y, and Z, right? We make something, we make a probe, right? So we have this happening here, and we see this. First thing I want to check: do I see a spawning pool? I don't. Okay. So maybe I don't care about it. These gases are done. We'll put these here. I accidentally made a second gas. Whatever. We'll go back and do the build order. So I see this, right? That's fine. We'll make a zealot. I can't even afford a zealot. All right. We'll cancel the zealot. We'll just go with this guy and this guy. So because we can't afford a zealot, because I didn't make another, we'll just bring a handful of probes. Want to let's make sure we bring more than 5, right? So usually at the higher levels I like to bring like 6. If you get on this right away, you can bring 5. Right now, what was our build order again? Oh yeah, I want to make a pylon here in this location, right? Eventually I want to make a nexus. We'll just, you know, this is stuck, so we'll just wait. You know, I'm pretty much stuck until my build order, until he kind of undoes himself. Yeah, warp tech. I want to make an adept, right? So everything, you know. Oh, we're unsupply blocked. Okay, let's make a probe. Right, that's cool. Can I attack him? All right, we'll make the nexus. Oh, you won't let me make a nexus. All right, we'll just keep trying to make the nexus. Nexus made. We'll send this back. Uh oh, he's attacking me. You know, maybe we'll make a block. We'll go here. Chrono Boost to cheese. Make against cheese, it'll just make supply block. Or makes not make supply blocks, but make shield batteries. Right? We'll bring some probes to come help and assist. And we'll make another one of these guys. Can he get out? Yep. Kind of body blocking here. Make another shield battery. Yeah, so hopefully this is not too difficult on micro, right? Maybe it is. I hope it's not. I apologize if this is pretty hard. Alright, we'll send these guys back. We'll send, let's see, can we get this probe around here? Make some probes. Alright, maybe we can mineral walk. Oh, maybe we don't want a mineral walk here. Send him down here. Alright, well, I wanted to rebuild the gateway, but he won't let me, so let's see what we got. We got this. He killed a probe. I want to make a robotics facility. We can warp in another guy. Oh, bring him back a little bit. The shield batteries. He's obviously doing more micro than I am, right? So we saw these guys happen, we'll just attack. So it's better to move out so you can kind of surround them, right? Some guys back into gas. Can we warp in again? We can warp in again. Oh, attacking me again? Okay, let's go here. Alright, we don't need everybody found him. I think 4 guys. He's a little bit weak, you know, whatever. Keep making some stuff. We got what? Got more. I have a bunch of minerals. Make some of this. Throw him here. You can probably do the photon overcharge. Make it immortal. I'm gonna boost him. Oh yeah, okay, he's attacking me. We forgot, you know, we noticed we don't have the what is it, Twilight Council? So we'll make the Twilight Council. That was supposed to be part of our build when we made the Robo or Immortal. This guy's running away, send him home. We want to make a second immortal. Oh, we're supply blocked again, so make some more pylons. 1, 2. We're over mining here. Something is happening over here. Sure, whatever. You know, hopefully I'm simulating at least some sort of pressure. You know, I think we've sufficiently messed up our build order. I don't know. Charge, right? Where's my army? Oh, don't run off. Don't run over there, guys. What else are we missing? I think I wanted this at some point. We need 8 gateways, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I forgot I need a chrono boost this, right? Is that something? We need I forgot to make the observer. Maybe we'll make this, hit that with the chrono boost. I have enough guys here. We're missing this guy there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 gateways, so I can go 6. We can go 7. Maybe we'll try to re-wall 8. I think I need this war prism here, right? Okay. Well, I guess we'll send him back home. We can warp in. Want to leave one guy at home. Remember, this guy is supposed to go the road facility. We'll send. Oh yeah, that's right. I want to attack. That's right. I want to attack. Let's see what I do when I attack. I want to make 3 pylons. That's right. That's what we want to do when we attack. Put him into the wall. Do I have my war prism? War prism finished. Yeah. Okay. Nice. We'll find a good staging area. Oh yeah, that's right. I want to put my warp prism on 2. And I'm supposed to put my robo on 3. Right? Even though we don't use this a whole lot yet. We're just doing it for habits. Right? Now we're at my staging area. We can warp in my 8 gateways of stuff. Right? We did a good warp in. You know, the new thing, a new skill that we picked up now that we're Plat 2 is we're gonna warp 3 more pylons after the initial warp, and we'll just click 1A here, and we'll just, you know, keep warping in. Hopefully he kills units, any units, he can kill any units, right? Please kill some units so we can warp in. Alright, some units died, our stuff finished. 1A here. Alright, just we're focusing on warping in, right? Not even watching, alright? Got some units here. Pop. We got some more units here. Pop. We're basically warping them in 4 at a time. You know. Now, what's really nice is what we're also trying to practice in this is getting used to is not looking at our army while we're attacking. Because one of the things that's really hard skill for people to develop that people run into, a trap we'll say, not a skill deficiency, a trap, is they'll be like having too much fun here microing the 4 zealots, and they'll not make any. I'm doing the opposite of that. I'm not even looking at my units. I'm just making units and sending them, right? Because it's more important to make units most of the time, especially until you get to maybe higher levels where every unit matters. But at least for a long time, it's more important that you make new units than it is to keep old units alive, okay? Because like we see here, I can make more units than he can kill. Right? If he can kill more units than I can make, then we have a problem. But I can make more units. He can't even kill units faster than I can make them. Right? I'm over here waiting for units to die. So I don't need to keep my units alive. Like, I have money to spend, man. Can you just like kill some of these zealots for me? Like, I got money to spend. Okay? Like, I ain't making pylons. And then it's like, okay, fine. Like, you're not killing stuff. I'll just make some pylons so I can make more units, right? So we're not worried about keeping every little zealot alive until later, right? Until we're up the ladder more. This guy basically cheesed us, and other than like the early beginning, I pretty much ignored him. I defended this cheese with like one gateway, one gateway, right? Double probes, and we just ignored him. Right? I was like under pretending to be under pressure. I'm like, okay, like what was my build again? What was my build again? Oh, yeah, I gotta make a rebel. Oh shit, I forgot the Twilight Council. Let's make that. You know, eventually I try to. My goal is always to get back, especially when you're like under pressure. How do I get back to my build order? What am I missing? You know, let's get back. Like, do I have 8 gateways? Do I have my Templar archives? Do I have X, Y, and Z? You know, I need to get back to a state of the game that I'm comfortable with, that I've practiced. Um, I need to get to a familiar place, because once the game becomes familiar to me, I know how to win, right? So your goal when playing any kind of strategy game competitively is you're trying to influence the game to get you to a state that you know you can win with. Can we get a turn to do Proxy Marauder? Yeah, Proxy Marauder is pretty easy. I can ask him to do it, you know. So we made a gateway, we make a unit, we do a chrono boost, and then the next probe out makes the assimilator. Make a assimilator, we made a unit. The next probe out makes an assimilator. Make some. Oh, I forgot to scout. That's fine. We'll just take a probe. We'll send it around. We'll send it home. Oh yeah, we want to do 2 chrono boosts, at least for now. You know, we're maxed out here, so whatever. He can stay on gas. We'll make our second gateway. Oh, we can make our cybernetics core. We'll take these 2 people. We'll send him to gas. We'll just keep making probes. He's not doing anything. Get to work, Sam. Sam the probe. All right, you know, we're doing good. Let's see, what was my build order? Okay, we got this. I need a second pylon. Second pylon's always behind the mineral patch, right? In the future, we'll train you guys how to find things like very easily I can see that these probes are triple stacked, and I'm actually losing some efficiency here, but we don't care about it. We'll fix that. I think that's maybe like a Masters 3 thing. Maybe when we get to our Masters League, we'll worry about that stuff. So we're just making probes and going back here. Right. We make a couple stalkers. Everything's looking gravy. I want to make this pylon. Not a whole lot's happening. We're making probes. Click an extra one, right? Nothing's happening here. We're good for a little bit. I kind of have a lull in my build. Let's take a look at our scouting information. We see a lot of barracks, right? And this is a scary amount of barracks. So what am I gonna do? You know, we'll just make a couple more stalkers, right? Keep making some probes. Go ahead and make my shield battery. Everything looks the same so far. But he made a lot of barracks, and let's say I'm afraid to expand, right? Which I ought to be. We'll keep making probes, right? And we'll continue the build order without the nexus, right? I need units, so we'll go and make robotics facility. We'll go and make pylon. We know their barracks is, so maybe we'll make the second shield battery here. Okay, we made 2 of these guys. What was the next 2 units I usually make? Oh yeah, there's probably like, I think a sentry. We'll make 1 sentry, right? Okay, bam. Usually I can't afford 2 sentries, so. Right, and then, you know, okay, we made the robo. So what I want to make the Twilight Council, right? Bam. And, you know, from here, everything's looking good. And, you know, so now the question is, do I feel safe, right? It's like, you know, everything's looking good. I have a bunch of money. Maybe we'll make the observer. I usually warp in, 2 more stalkers. I have a lot of money, so maybe I'll drop the expansion now, right? You know, I got a couple shield batteries. I got this guy, you know. Well, next thing I usually make is the immortal. Oh no, I'm supply blocked, right? So, okay, we're supply blocked. What do we do about that? Oh, okay, we'll just make a pylon. Boom. Right, make a probe, you know. have a lot of guys over here. I don't want to worry about waiting for the optimal time, so we'll just send some guys to long distance mine. You can long distance mine. These guys can long distance mine. Right, here we go. Oh, we're on supply block. Hit this with Chrono Boost. Probe's looking good. And we'll go ahead. What was our rest of our? Oh, we got this guys, right? Okay. Charge. Chrono Boost. Looks like I think that's all the tech. I can't really afford Archon tech yet, so we'll just make our 8 gateways. 1, 2, 3. See, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then, are these slow pylons? We'll save our 8th one for here. Boom, we got all. Oh shit! I forgot to make my second immortal. Well, I need my second immortal because as part of my build. So we'll just make the second immortal. Even though it's late, it's fine. What we're trying to do is just get to a point of the game that's familiar to us. And having 2 immortals is familiar to us, right? We're not going to try and hit the fastest, we're not going to try and hit our fastest possible timing day. We just want to make sure right now in the platinums, we're just trying to make the game as familiar from game to game as possible, right? Now I can afford Templar attack, right? And maybe do some warp-ins. Oh no, I spent too much money. Okay, we'll just wait. I need to make this warp prism, we'll just wait. Bam, we'll make the warp prism. I want to make the warp prism, I click on the observer. Oh, I'm supply blocked again. You know, everything feels like everything's falling apart. That's fine, it's fine. What I do, okay, we'll just make 3 pylons, right? I have everything. Usually I make 3 pylons when I move out. I can't quite move out just yet. So I'll make 3 pylons. We'll just do that right now. I guess I can make 2 more probes. We can do that, right? I charge finished, great. We'll just wait, you know? We'll just wait because now we'll make it, right? I usually don't move out until I have the warp prism, so we just won't move out. You know, I'll just keep warping in. We'll just wait. Because the game is not familiar to me. Oh, I'm being attacked. I'll just aim move my army. Good thing it was here. He killed some probes. Make some more probes. Boom. Alright. Yeah. We have our stuff, so I put him on 2. I put him on 3. And we'll just kind of move across the map. He attacked me, maybe I'll leave a couple of zealots at home. Like 3 or 4 zealots. And oh no, I'm supply blocked. So we'll just make 3 more pylons. You know, just anytime I'm attacking and I'm supply blocked, I don't know what to do, we'll just make 3 pylons. That's our magic number. We'll go to our army, set up the warp prism shop. I can't warp in, and we'll just A move the main base. I can't, right? We'll just A move here. And we'll just keep warping in the zealots. A move here. Hopefully those zealots can micro themselves to the front. Alright, this is working pretty well. Not really controlling, I'm just kind of watching. Spectator mode, looking pretty good. Oh, we won. Like, this was probably like the most horrible that I've ever done the build order. Still, just A move the opponent, right? Score screen. Oh no. Guess what else I forgot? Right, I forgot to label my replays. Well, it's not too late, you know, we can go back here. You take a look, you know, I haven't labeled any of them. And I remember what they did. If you can't remember them, watch the replay, you know? Get an idea of what happened. It's a good practice. And then when you can remember, you know, maybe write some notes down. This is a win against a Zerg. And what did this Zerg do to me? Do I remember? I believe this Zerg was he a free win. So we're just gonna label this one as free win. You know, so I'm not even really gonna count him. That's another free win. Don't count. Oh, I need to put don't count. You know, be consistent. Don't count. Bam. Okay, so we got a free win. Don't count. What about this one? This was that Terran. Did nothing special. So PVT Aaron. Alright, PVT win. Nothing really special here. Right? Maybe you put something special here, but I'm just gonna put PVT win. We've done that before. You know, these are just nothing special. Probably not ever gonna watch that replay. You know, the ones that have like Fast Lurker or Cannon Rush, these are the ones that I'm probably gonna be more interested in. You know, PVZ. What was this guy? That PVZ, and did he cheat? I think this one was the. Was this one like the proxy hatcher? No, this one was the in or fast Zergling drop. Okay, so we'll see. This also gives me an idea, like how often do I face against a fast Zergling drop? Well, one, right? This guy was PVZ proxy hatchery. Okay. You know? Oh yeah, we oh yeah, I forgot. We need to label this as a win, because we won this one. We'll label this as a. This one was also a win. It's good. If they were losses, you know, we'd collect the data, right? Because one piece of data we might find is like, okay, like all of my Void Ray losses are against the same person, right? So I'll just memorize their name, and anytime I play that person, or anytime I play against Proxy Hatchery, or no, anytime I play against this guy, I will just metagame the Proxy Hatchery, because I've played him 5 times, and all 5 times he's Proxy Hatchered me, right? You know. So when we label our data like this, we can draw inferences and make patterns out of like, who is somebody that has a pattern of behavior that I can metagame, right? Because the one thing you don't want to do is what as a trap that a lot of people fall into. One base. So we'll say this is one base, 3 racks, macro. And to me, I'm using the term macro, I mean he didn't attack me. If it was 1 base 3 racks rush, that means he attacked me. 1 base 3 racks rack macro means he did not attack, right? So you can have your own system. So essentially we can kind of like try to like, you know, work out a puzzle, figure out like what map, like maybe we find out that this person only fast Zergling drops on Hecate. Okay. Oh, other people fast Zergling drop on Hecate. I always lose to fast Zergling drops. They only happen on Hecate. I'm gonna go and veto Hecate, right? Like I lost. Is there anything common between these two? No. Yeah, so maybe it doesn't matter, right? So maybe I can just avoid certain matchup or certain strategies by just vetoing a map that strategy happens to only happen on. Maybe I find that the same players do the same things and I can just hard counter them, you know? So like I will practice my build order against everyone but this asshole over here who keeps cannon rushing me, right? Because he always cannon rushes. Just him, I'm gonna like do whatever the hard counter the cannon rush is. But when it's not him, we're gonna go back and we're gonna practice our basics, we're gonna practice our build order, we're gonna practice our mechanics, right? Or you just say like, you know, I don't care about void rays, right? So if he only void rays me, if he's gonna or she's gonna or they're gonna always void ray rush me or proxy void ray me, I lose 100% of those matchups. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the game every time I fight against them, right? Like when you are looking at these things, you also want to determine like your cost benefit analysis. Like, is it worth your stress levels? Is it worth it to just, you know, overcome this difficulty? You have even the skill level. It could be the case that to use void rays at Plat 3 is significantly easier, and you don't actually have or the skill level to beat void rays might actually be like a diamond 3 thing. So to execute the void ray strategy might be a Plat 3 Platinum 3 thing, but to beat it might be a Diamond level 3 thing, and you're trying to beat it, but you don't have the skill for it. You just cause yourself a huge amount of stress, a huge amount of pain for absolutely no reason, right? So only like try to overcome challenges that you can. And still, we've only played against and lost. We have 100% loss rate against Void Rays. We've only played it twice. We played it twice. Do I even care that I can't beat it right now with the current skill level I'm showing off? No, I don't. I play it so infrequently, it might as well not exist. These losses didn't happen. Yeah, I don't care about them, right? Uh, but the big so going back, I kind of mentioned, but I never finished the thought, is one of the biggest traps people fall into is that they lose confidence in their units and they lose confidence in their build order because they have one really bad loss, right? Like, I might tell somebody or coach somebody this exact build order. I would say you should two base Robo all in. Just two base, you can 1A the opponent, right? And if we look at like these first couple games here, right? The first ever game that I played, I think, according to these timestamps, the first ever game I played, I lost immediately. So like this Grandmaster guy told me to do two base Robo all in. I lost immediately. And I think I did the build pretty well, you know, even though really I didn't. But even though I did the build pretty well, I lost. I did win 2 games, and then I lost to Voyeurs again. Like, fuck this build. I don't want to do it, you know. That Grandmaster, that Master 1 player, my, you know, whatever. He's trash, you know, he doesn't know what he's talking about, or this build order is just not for me, you know. Like all someone needs to do is just make Void Rays and I just lose. Like, that's not satisfying, right? But look at this, right? I'm pretty much playing the build order about as poorly as I can, almost as poorly as I can. Pretty bad, you know, if you watch these replays, you watch the videos. But I'm playing it about as poorly as I can. And look at this win rate, right? Do we need to like look at my match history? Like, look at this win rate. I'm just, aside from these 2 losses against Void Rays, I am slaying the ladder, right? Right? These mass losses just me deranking the account so that I could give you platinum content. Okay, so ignore these losses; they're not actual games. So I think technically we actually won our first game, or is it this one? I think I actually won my first game and then I lost. So the first game wasn't actually a loss, but we'll just say like the first 4 games 50%, and then it's just straight up wins, right? So was it real? Is the build order actually bad because it always loses the Void Rays? Or is the Void order actually pretty great and we just don't care that we lose the Void Rays? It turns out we don't care we lose the Void Rays because we won fucking every game that's not Void Rays, right? And then all I need to do is, you know, is polish this Void Rays, and I just need to learn the next build order I'm learning. Guess what? 100%. The next build order I'm learning after I somewhat master this one is going to be the build order to beat Void Rays. Because if I combine this plus the build order that can beat Void Rays, I'm 100% win rate person right now. Okay. And then the only piece of information I need is how do I scout Void Rays? Because if I can scout Void Rays, I know how to beat it. If I don't scout Void Rays, I know how to win without them because my build beats everything but Void Rays, right? So that's how you piece together. Like, first you pick any build order, right? I usually recommend 2 base timing attacks. You pick any build order, you practice that build order, you do it until you are a master at that build order or a grandmaster at that build order, and then that build order will tell you what the next build order you should learn. It's not like, well, what should I learn next, Mr. Grandmaster Coach, right? No, the build order I should learn next is a build order that compensates for the weaknesses of my current build order. Maybe the weakness of my current build order is Void Rays. So what's the next build order I should get? The next build I should get is an anti-Void Ray build, or a build that just, you know, naturally defends against Void Rays, right? now I kind of have a more complete picture. The last thing I want is another build order that also loses to Void Rays. Well, like, how does it help me to have two build orders that lose against Void Rays, right? They have the same weaknesses. You learn one build order, you figure out what it wins against, you figure out what it loses against. You know, I have a pretty big list of what I win and lose against right here, right? And this list gets updated all the time. It may turn out that this build order in Platinum League always wins against fast Sterling drops, but in Diamond League, maybe it always loses against fast Sterling drops, right? So I'll update my confidence levels and adjust, right? But eventually I'll know what I win against and what I lose against. And what I lose against will dictate the next things I should learn, the next things I can work on. How can I adapt this build? What build should I learn next? What should I scout for? When should I change things? And so on. Hopefully this information is helpful, right? I'm not just ranting into the ether. So, all right, you know, like what? I think I got a couple more games in me. We probably won't make Platinum 1 today, but we'll get there, right? So what basically kind of the essence I'm saying is, like, pick a reasonably good build order. That's a 2-base timing. That's what I recommend. And they're gonna, like I said, you will lose the stuff, accept those losses, right? And then figure out, are you meant to lose against those? Maybe you are. Fuck it. If I'm meant to lose against Void Rays every time with Robo, so be it. How often? The only question I care about is how often do I lose? Like, are Void Rays stopping me from getting better? The answer is right now, no. There's not enough people making Void Rays that I even care. And whenever I do care, I'll ask somebody to practice with me. Like, hey, you beat me with Void Rays. Let's practice. Let's see if I can figure out how to beat that. Or I got a build order I want to try to see if I can beat that with. Does this build order beat Void Rays? Let's spar. Make a friend. Make friends with people you cannot beat that are at or above your skill level. Okay? Because they can help you practice against what they're beating you with, right? All right, take a probe, send them down here. They can help you practice. People you lose against, the people who beat you, are the best players to practice against, and they don't have a 100% win rate with Void Rays. All right, I tell you that right now. They do not. So they know who can beat them and how. Maybe they give you replays of them losing, and you can copy the builds that people are doing to beat them. So we accidentally rallied a guy down here. That's fine. That's fine. Guess what? He's not an accident anymore. He now has a purpose. His purpose: build the gateway. Build the gateway, build a probe. Probe finish, we build the gas. We build the gas, we build a probe. We'll wait for this probe to finish, we'll build another gas. Oh, I have an attack over here. What happened? Everything's fine? Okay. Come back. We make the gas, we make a probe. Right? So usually the next thing in my build order is the cybernetics core. So we'll just keep making probes. Early game, we'll just make 2 at a time. That's fine. And I'm just looking back and forth, like probe being made. That looks good. This is finished now. We'll make cybernetics core, right? So I thought this was a Zerg player, but I was wrong. And he killed my probe. Okay, that's whatever. So we made these 2. I don't know what to do right now, so I'm gonna make a Nexus, right? Because I thought he was a Zerg player. I'm all bent out of shape, so we'll just try to, like, okay, what did I do? Okay, well, we'll just continue with somewhat of our Zerg-ish Terran hybrid build order over here. We'll just make some probes. This is finished. I'll make a stalker. I'll make this. Oh no, I'm supply blocked. Oh yeah, that's right. Second pylon, right? So I'll just make the second pylon over here. I'll make a probe. Oh, this probe's being built. Did I make a... Nope. Okay, that's fine. Okay, well, whatever. Oh yeah, okay, my build order means I usually get 2 gateways early on. Yeah, so we'll just kind of get back to what's remembering. Okay, okay, we made a gateway, make a pylon. Oh, I noticed this finished. Okay, that's fine. Okay, this guy's going on. We're delayed a little bit, so we'll hit this with a chrono boost. Alright, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to make a shield battery here. I usually make the shield battery next. Oh, I gotta make a probe. I see that no probe being made. Okay, usually make a shield battery up here, right? Okay, make a probe. And what was next? Oh yeah, we make some more units. And then I want to make a robo. Oh, this is finished. I forgot to hotkey these. Okay, we'll just go and hotkey them. You know, we'll go over here. So we're trying to practice some crisis management skills. Make a couple probes. Oh yeah, I made the robo facility. Okay, robo facility. What's next? Was that the Twilight Archives? Okay, or the Twilight Council, or whatever this building is called. All right, we made a building. We make a couple probes now. We have two probe maker thingers. I don't know what to do, so we'll just make 2 sentries, right? Because I don't know. I need to make some probes now. He scanned me. Am I scared? I don't know. Maybe. Oh yeah, I forgot. Usually I double chrono, so we'll just double chrono. It's never too late. Make a couple probes. Oh, this finished. Okay, well, I'll make an observer. Chrono boost the observer. Make a couple probes. Oh, I can't make charge yet. Okay, we'll just wait. Charge. Oh, make charge. Make a couple probes. Chrono boost charge. Alright. So we got this, I got that. I guess I'll make an immortal. I can't make immortal, I don't have the money. I want a supply block. We'll take this opportunity. We'll make a pylon. Usually I recommend making more than one pylon, but for now we'll just, you know, say, let's make a pylon. Make a couple probes. Alright. We'll queue up the immortal. He can be queued. Great. Oh, this guy's idle. Send him here. We have a couple guys here. Send him over there. Alright. Oh, we're on supply block. Great. Hit this guy with a chrono boost. What was I doing next? I don't want to forget, you know, so we will just hit this immortal here. I have a lot of money. Oh yeah, that's right. I want 8 gateways, right? So we got, well, how many we got? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways. And maybe we'll put a couple up here. 7, 8 gateways. So we'll shift click him back on the mineral patch. Supply blocked. Okay, we gotta make a pylon, right? Queue up a couple oh, we're done with probes. All right, no more probes, right? Oh no, my build order is really messed up. I've been supply blocked a lot. I'm not gonna panic, right? I'm not gonna panic. We're just gonna, you know, we'll just make sure we're back to what we're normally. All right, oh, we're on supply block. Get that a chrono boost. Maybe you can do a couple warp-ins. Then I'll want to attack soon, so we'll go ahead and make 3 pylons. Okay. I got, so charge is done. This is almost done. I want to make the warp prism. And we don't attack until the warp prism comes out. Or is on its way out. We'll just hotkey these guys. Warp prism coming. Hit that with the chrono boost. We'll do a bunch of warp-ins, you know? And then, okay, we've gotten back to what we're comfortable with, right? We'll pretend that we forgot Archons, right? Then we want to move out, you know, find our staging area. It tends to be somewhere near here. So we go here, right? Yeah, we want to put this on 2. We'll put this on 3. Well, we are floating tons of money, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. Oh, we can't warp in. Alright, well, we'll go and make 3 more pylons. And then, to help fix our supply block problem, we'll ask him to attack. Or we'll go, I mean, not ask him to attack. We'll ask him to kill some of our units. And then we're not going to watch our army. We're just going to warp in, take these guys, and just A-move. Right? He's over here microing like he's fucking Pure or whatever. Or Gumiho. What? Pick your favorite Terran, Maru. I'm just going to warp in and A-move. We're just going to wait our turn. Just going to warp in whatever we can. And just A-move. Bop.
Are we winning the fight? Barely, maybe. Just warp in. And A move. You know, I have a lot of money. Warp in is kind of boring right now, so we'll make it immortal. We'll chrono boost it. We'll head back here. And warp in some units. And A move. Yeah. Let's rally my robos so these guys come down here. Maybe I'll make another one. I got tons of money. With another chrono boost. We'll just warp in. And we'll just A move. We'll check on how the fight's going. This guy's not doing anything. An A move. Right? Like our opponent's doing a lot of work. Oh, these guys are not fighting. Set them up the ramp. That's perfect. Alright. And we got this. And we'll A move. Right? You can see, like, with our production, we're eventually spending our money. You know, he's not dead yet. We have a lot of gas, so maybe, you know, we can make archives. We forgot to make that. I noticed that when I was warping in, the High Templars are not highlighted. You know? And then I'll just A move. Ah, Mr. Immortal. Welcome to the fight. You may join the enemy and A move. We're gonna warp in one more zealot. And we can A move. What are you guys doing? A move him up here. Oh, this is not looking so well. We'll just bring him back a little bit. Alright. So, we haven't killed him. It's the first guy we haven't killed. So we'll just regroup. We'll warp in some Archons. You know. Pop, pop, pop. What else we got, you know? Maybe we'll take a Nexus. You know? Now we'll go back here. You know, we're still waiting to warp in. Now make an Immortal. Send him to Chrono Boost. This is Rally with my stage area, you know? Okay. Now just warp in some more stuff. You know, maybe I'll make a couple Stalkers. When our second Immortal, usually we like attacking 2 Immortals, so when our second Immortal comes out, then we'll just A move him again. You know? Have him rally here. We've lost mana capacity, so we'll select some guys. We'll just long distance mine, so I don't have to worry about it. All I care about is warping in units right now. That's red, so we'll send him here. Okay, so our macro is getting back on track. Warp in a bunch of units. Pop. Second Immortals here. Okay, pop. Alright. Maybe we'll move this to give us high ground vision. So that way, when we A move, they hopefully won't derp out around here, right? I don't A move a lot, so I've never really seen the derping that happened here, okay? But now, we'll just A move. We have our army again. And that's why we make all of this production, is, oh, army's going the wrong way. Okay, well, how about we A move here? Make some Stalkers, you know, to have... It's nice to have a healthy amount of different units. Then we'll A move. Make some more charge lots. Because these give us a little bit more anti-air. Hey, we end up winning. Hopefully that was still... hopefully I didn't cheat and do anything too complicated this game. But technically we didn't need that expansion, but you know, like, well, we got nothing else to do. We're rebuilding our army, we're waiting, so we go for the expansion, right? So this is the first person to not die to the first A move. So, Chris Poo, if you ever see this video, good job, man. You have impressed me for someone of a platinum 2 skill level at 116 APM. You are the best player that I have fought. Well done. Well done. That's not sarcasm, you know. This guy, he's got some talent. PVT. Uh, Win did not die right away. This guy. Uh, Realistically, I don't. As more of a meme, I don't recommend dying at that. So he did not die right away. This is a good one, right? So this one stands out to me. So how do I say this one? We'll say like, say he probably did standard macro. You know, maybe some cyclones, standard macro, some cyclones. You know, maybe we'll say like maybe passive macro, some cyclones, and then we'll give it another tag for like, we'll say hard in all caps because it's hard LE. You know, hard. So we know. So now you know we have this acronym hard. Where if any game tagged with hard, this is so far this is the only replay that we really struggled, that we've technically struggled with, that wasn't a loss. This is the only win that was a struggle, right? So we could use the keyword struggle if we wanted to. So when I think about what replays I want to watch the most, it's replays like this. Like I executed my build and he held it. Okay, this person held my attack. Right? It required me to evolve my build. It required me to expand to my third base and do something new. I had to regroup my army. Right? So when I watch this replay, I want to ask questions, you know, like, how could I have done the attack better? Right? Is there anything I could have done better? Maybe I'll give this replay to my coach and say, hey, Captain Newbie, this person did really, even though I won, this person did really well and held my initial push. What could I have done better so that didn't happen, right? How could I have microed my army? How could I have attacked? Like maybe it's, you know, like what could I have seen? Like, obviously I'm gonna 1A him, right? You know, at what point, like how could I have made the attack better? And the advice, depending on your skill level, might be, oh, pick up the warp prism. Like whenever you do a round of warping in, and he's kind of like in this defensive position on top of the ramp, pull your army down from the bottom of the ramp, okay, and just kind of camp it as natural. Pick up the warp prism, pick up both of your immortals, take them around the outside of the base, drop the immortals into his base, and warp in zealots. Make sure you make like 3 pylons first or whatever, and then when you drop the 2 immortals, warp in a thing of zealots, you know, 8 zealots, and attack with that army. That will pull his army from the ramp to your warp prism, and then you can take your army at the natural and attack his ramp, and he's not going to be able to defend both sides, right? His army, he's going to pull all of his army to defend the zealots and the immortals, which are going to do really well against what he has, and you're going to bust the ramp, and eventually you'll just pincer attack from 2 sides, right? And then maybe you try that out, you practice it. Some games are successful, some games you're not, but then eventually the more you do it and the more you play against, maybe you say, hey, Chris Poo, can you be my friend? Like, you did really well. I think if I played against you, we can make each other better, right? Because you're the closest person to, or you're the hardest person for me to beat, right? So you're probably, or so far you have been the hardest person for me to beat. So you're probably like one of the best candidates to be my practice partner. You don't want to say those words because it sounds pretty like snobbish, but that's what you want to think. You want to say, hey Chris, you want to be a practice partner? You want to play some games or whatever? Want to be friends? And maybe together, like you get better at doing your builds because he's really good at holding it. He gets better at holding your build, which forces you to get better at doing your build, which forces him to get better at holding your build, which forces you to get better at doing your build. You iterate through this cycle, and then you go into ladder, this guy is losing to nobody but you, right? Doing that build. Right? So he gets that mileage out of it. You're probably the only person doing it, so he's really getting nothing out of it, technically, except for when he plays you. And then you just crush every turn because you are now better at doing your build. And because this guy is so good at defending it, that he forced you to get better, and you're just like crushing even harder, right? Because the only real person on ladder that can defend it are people that are Chris Poo or better, right? So in this kind of practice where you get to practice your build and all he gets to do is try to defend it, unless he's practicing the same build which is he's trying to defend it, is you'll probably get more mileage out of you. The timing attack player usually gets more mileage out of the custom game practice than the defender, right? So now don't be greedy, right? If someone wants to practice a timing attack against you, practice with them, because they might be able to flip the cards on you, right? Say, okay, now I want to practice my timing attack against you. All right, the attacking players can get most mileage out of the custom games, but you guys can switch. You can get better at defending. Maybe you can learn some new micro ticks defending, right? So so that's kind of that's my first thoughts. Back when I was actually trying to get better and stuff, which was like 10 years ago, these are things I do. Like, I lost somebody, they were my friend. If someone cheesed me and I couldn't beat that cheese, I made them my friend. Or I found somebody who did that to be my friend. And I was like, and I got to the point where I didn't lose against cheese, for almost all of Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. My win rate against anyone that did a cheese was like 90%. I almost never lost to cheese. And even in Legacy of Void, like, I almost never lose to cannon rushes. Like, you have to be like plus 1,000 MMR above me to have a positive win rate with a cannon rush against me. So I'm just a god at defending cannon rushes. I don't like to brag, but I'm a god. Maybe not a god, but I'm pretty good. But how I got there at being able to be good at defending things like proxy racks and all that stuff, at least in Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of Void, is because when people cheese me and they were good at it and they beat me, I asked them to practice that cheese against me until I beat it. And I would convince them to practice, because it's like, if you cheese me, I will get better at defending it, which will force you to get better executing it, which will cause me to get better at defending it. And you will get, and then so they'll get better executing it, you get better defending it, and then anyone that doesn't execute it as well as your practice partner will never beat you. Never. And then if your practice partner, like, if you outskill your practice partner, like, I become Diamond 3, Chris Poo stays in Platinum 2, and it's like, well, we just go our own separate ways. Like, I tried to help Chris Poo get better. He's kind of roadblocked. I don't know how to improve him because I'm a Protoss player, he's a Terran player, whatever, right? You just find a different practice partner. You can still be friends with Chris Poo, right? Play with him once in a while or whoever. But if your goal is to get better, sometimes you do have to leave some practice partners in the dust if they aren't able to keep up with you. Doesn't mean you don't have to be their friend, doesn't mean you don't have to practice with them. It just becomes like, I don't ask to practice with you anymore. You can ask to practice with me, I just don't ask to practice with you anymore. Right? Accidentally double clicked a replay. Oops. It's kind of the sad state of practice partners, is sometimes you guys grow at different rates. So, all right, we'll play one more game to close out the night. In this game, I will try and not intentionally mess up the build order. That's kind of what I was trying to do in these last few games. Just kind of show you some crisis management. Like, okay, like, fuck, like, my mind is blanking. I forgot the build order. Like,
how do I get back to a sense of stability, right? How do I make the game turn into something that is familiar to me that I can win? That's kind of like the goal of today's lesson. So like we horribly messed up our builder, everything was out of place, but we knew what we needed, right? Like I kept getting supply blocked. I wasn't making enough pylons to unsupply block. I was making one at a time instead of like 2 or 3. I was floating tons of money, but we went back into the build order. We got all of our stuff that we're supposed to do, and eventually we spent all our money. You know, and the build order still won. Because that's how powerful a builder is. Even if executed incorrectly, a proper builder is still capable of being powerful. Just because that's what a well-designed build order with a well-designed plan does. It's meant to give you the tools to win the game. All right, so the first probe comes out. I'll make the pylon. All right, and I kind of like in PVZ at least the second probe coming out and coming down here. I'm kind of liking that. So that's gonna be a new part of my build order. We come over here, we do this little scout, we send them back home. We make a probe, we rally this. You know, this is good. This finishes, and we'll make this gateway run a boost. I'm not gonna send him back. We'll just keep him here. Your job is to build the Great Wall of Protoss. We built the gateway, build a probe. We build the gas, we build a probe. We build another gas, we build a probe. He goes back to minerals, you go back to minerals. This is almost done, we build a probe. Alright, I'm looking here. Not a whole lot going on right now, so I'll just build a probe to buy me some time. We'll see what we see. We don't see the spawning pool. Remember, against Zerg, the only thing we care about early on is seeing that the spawning pool is more or less than halfway finished. If it's half or more, you want to build a zealot. If it's less than half, you're fine, right? Bam. Technically, I built too many, whatever. We go ahead, we build the cybernetics core, and we're gonna make sure we have 2 grid spaces for between our cybernetics core for now, so we can fit comfortably a unit into that gap, right? We build the cybernetics core, we build the probe, and then we build the nexus. Because we're not being cheesed, we don't have to wall really fast. We'll build the nexus. Build the nexus, we build a probe, right? And then we go ahead and build the gateway. Build the gateway, we build a probe. We can put some guys on gas. Then we have our 2 gateways, our cybernetics core, our pylon. The next thing we do is we build our second pylon right here, like in between, so that way we can build a shield battery. We build the pylon, we build a probe. All right, there's not a whole lot going on right now. All right, well, yeah, we want to build a adept. We build a warp gate. When this gets unblocked, we'll chrono boost it. Chrono boost the adept. You know, then we want to build a shield battery here. Build a probe. Build a shield battery here. For now, eventually we'll get rid of this one because we don't actually need it, but we want to keep these builds similar in all matchups. And then as we get better with the builder, we'll start to deviate it. He finishes, we build the stalker for defending banelings. We'll hawk, we build some stuff, so we'll build a couple probes. Put this on high key 5. We'll set our rally points. We can do a chrono boost for each of these. That'll speed up probe production, so we'll make some probes. We can probably start transferring some of these guys, right? Build some probes. Take our little builder dude over here. We'll make our robo facility. Make some probes. We can trade these 2 out. So this makes us a little bit more robust against Baneling drops. Keep him close to help support against Zerglings. Make some probes. We made the robo, so we want to make the Twilight. Make some probes, right? After Twilight is going to be our signal to make 2 pylons. We'll place them here for now. We make some pylons, we'll make some probes.
Eventually, we'll place them in better locations, but we'll evolve the builder. We're pretty much done with making probes. We're 14, 16, and then we just kind of want to make our 8 gateways. 1, 2. I see the robos finished, so we'll make our observer. Warp gate finished, so we'll warp in a couple stalkers. The reason we warp in stalker instead of making more gateways because we don't care about the fastest timing attack right now. We just care about making sure we have units, because if he attacks me right now, I'd rather have these units than nothing, right? Make the immortal. We'll wait for this to run out, and then we'll chrono boost again. We see this, so we'll get charged. We'll hit this with the chrono boost. And then how many gateways I got? I got 4. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. We'll check on our second immortal. We see some things happening here. He ran away. It's fine. Oh, immortal pops out. We don't have enough for a chrono boost. Okay, whatever. Nope, we got the chrono boost now. We have the chrono. We pretty much have everything we need. So we'll just go ahead and queue up the warp prism. I want to make my 3. I want to attack eventually. We have all of our infrastructure. We'll go ahead and make these. You know, and then we'll just, you know, I know I need to make a Templar archive, so we'll go ahead and grab that. So we pretty much have all the bells and whistles checked, you know. Make this with the chrono boost. We'll rally it to here. We'll set it to 3, you know. Eventually we'll set these hotkeys a little bit earlier, but we'll do it for now. We'll do a nice little warp in. I'm just waiting for this to get out. You know, we'll take our army, put it on 1. Maybe not the adept. Mr. Adept can get out of the wall here. Do a little. Alright, we're ready to attack. Mr. Probe cannot come with us. Get the army out of the way. We'll put Mr. Adept back into the wall. You know, can I do a warp in? We can. Just warp in a little bit here. We did a big warp in. We're not attacking yet, so we can do 3 more pylons. Okay. So this guy goes on 2. Where's a good place to attack? Usually, wherever the common third base is below the ramp. We'll put the army here. Put the warp prism here. We'll rally the robo facility here. All right, warp prisms here. We'll do a warp in here. We'll select our army. Put in the hotkey group 1. We'll 1A this guy. While he 1A, everything's on cooldown. Maybe we'll just make 3 pylons. Maybe hopefully we'll be good with pylons for a while. These guys are 1A in their way to victory. We'll go ahead and warp in some stuff here. If I ever run out of gas, if I ever run out of minerals, but I have plenty of gas, we'll make some archons. We'll 1A over here. All right. Make a zealot. Oh, 1A over here. Alright, now I'll make a couple archons. Look at my money, I got a lot, so I'll make a couple archons. Maybe I can make 1 more archon. We'll make a zealot. Just warp these guys in. I'm not even watching my army. This is how important watching your army is. Not important at this level. If you're a platinum player trying to micro like partying, you're working too hard, man. You're just 1 AR archons over here. This guy's got like 4 bases, and I'm on 2, and I'm not even microing my army. I'm just 1A him, right? Fucking, we're the easiest game in the world. Oh, we beat Taco game. We just beat a 4-base Zerg by just 1A, right? It's like, so hopefully in yesterday's video and today's video, we just show you straight up the literal power of a poorly executed build order, but a build order nonetheless, right? The only part of this build order that's actually optimized that I've been doing is making enough production for the economy of 2 bases, right? 8 gateways, a robo facility. Okay. So 8 gateway production is typically what you hear as being the max that you can afford for 2 bases. And realistically, the amount of production you can afford for 2 bases or any amount of bases is dependent upon the units you're making out of the facility. So if I am making zealots, I actually can support more than 8 gateways of production because zealots are cheap. If I'm producing stalkers, I technically cannot afford 8 gateways. I think stalker production often is 7 gateways that you can afford. If I'm doing Zealot Archon, I can afford like 10 to 12 gateways on 2 bases. It's something like that, right? So the amount of gateways you're producing is relative to the cost and the speed of production, right? So if Zealots, if I could produce 2 Zealots in the time it takes 1 Stalker, even though Zealots are cheaper, the time cost is higher, right? So the 2 Zealots is 200 resources, where 1 Stalker is 175 resources, right? So in that scenario, it would not the same amount of production same amount of production structures would not be the same amount of production capability based on the income and stuff like that. I actually would need more production structures for stalkers or less production structures for zealots, stuff like that, right? So your production depends on what you are producing and its cost, or what you want to produce and its cost, right? So the only thing we've really optimized, like my APM is still 60. My average APM this season is not 9 because we did a bunch of free wins, right? Average APM this season is probably like 70, right? So far. So with 70 APM, you can be an undefeated Platinum 2. You can have this win rate in Platinum, right? So hopefully, this helps convince you that with the right build order, anything is possible. I'm not sure, maybe tomorrow I'll do part 3, but we'll continue this journey. Like I said, I'll take the journey to at least Masters 1, depending on how I feel. If I don't get too bored, I'll take it to Grandmaster, but we'll see. Like, at least getting to Masters 1 should hopefully teach you enough that you need to get Grandmaster on your own. But we'll see. I can take it to Grandmaster. I just might not have the time. But thank you for watching. Tune in next time, and we'll continue to hopefully provide you the tools you need to make yourself a better player, not only in StarCraft, but this advice applies to pretty much anything, And if you abstract it, it's good life advice as well. Thank you guys, and have a great night.